Where's my playlist? Hello. There we go. All right, everyone. Hello. This is going to be a mini stream. Going to be doing it for only about an hour. We're supposed to be getting severe thunderstorms. And the grill is cooling down, so it's right about that hour mark. I'll have to do some quick cleanup. Duckman, how's it going? So I got ambitious last night, right? Like everything is going well with all the redesigns that I'm doing. And another issue popped up that I remembered, and it's the fact that the cast bar, like if you guys remember, in the past, I have always fought getting the cast bar to work, and I had to do that weird math. Client and server didn't really sync. And one of my cats are trapped in here. Hold on. There we go. Little Maisie. So I decided last night to just not start it from scratch, right? But step through every part, right? Start from on start, put a bunch of print statements in there. I ended up redoing the HUD. Like this whole part here is different. The way it calculates is different. I had realized that it was very resource intensive, not only through item use, but the HUD was refreshing a lot. Like a lot. And the sad part is, the way it was before was a huge improvement to the last time that I did this. So now it's pretty much perfect. Like when you run, like it's like bam, right? The spell, like as soon as it's good and you release, bam, does it. And it's buttery smooth now, like buttery smooth. And I collapsed like 3 watched attributes to just like 1. And I found out a lot of the weird problem, like the weirdness when client server were coming up with different things, it was because the cancel, the on-step cancel is actually only client side. So I had to create like a specific like packet system for synchronizing things like that. So when you stop casting, client and server now both know that you stopped casting. Like it was bizarre, but I'm like, what the, like everything else is like client and server it runs on, but the cancels client only. What the hell? But yeah, like, oh, and I got rid of the stutter for casting spells. If you look, I put in code to where if you are creative, you don't have to fully complete a cast, only with the spell scrolls. So if you see, there's no lag at all. Whoops. And I am reapplying swiftness over and over, as you can hear. So absolutely no lag, the new buff system, it's fucking sweet. The new rendering system, you could see I drew some lines here. And you could see like the old, and then what the new ones are, the new lines. So this is actually something that is a single shape that I have on the character, right? On you as the player. I just have to make decent looking images now. But it's actually like 4 layers. So if you stand in like a block here, like this is one layer, the outer's another layer, the outer's another, and then the 4th one on the outside is like the final. As you can see, the way it kind of wraps around there. So I created a rendering system for this, for the casting stuff, to where it will be able to detect the kind of spell you want to cast and then pick the appropriate channeling ring. And that system's already in. I just have to fix the, actually get the images in. Another issue was when you were holding sneak, right? You start casting a spell and then you change spells. You weren't able to. I have insufficient mana, but it wouldn't actually update. Like my patch that I had for that, like to be able to change out your spells, did not actually fire onto the server side until you release sneak. So I had to redo all of that as well. Here it is. So now I'm holding sneak, right? In its equilibrium. Great. I don't think it's not doing it now. Oh wait, no, it is. It's all the same color because I have it all the same texture, but it actually, like, as you're sneaking and as soon as you scroll to whatever the next thing is, it like automatically will detect that spell. So you can hold sneak and you can like start like chain casting spells, right? Like, and just do things like this without like any delay now. So you don't have to like always stand up before casting. That was another huge improvement. I'm trying to make combat like feel better for Magic. But man, is this all fucking smooth. Hey Spetsy. Hey Ender, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I actually don't know. I have to do the textures, I think. I gotta do the textures. I'm thinking, this is for transmutation. I think I want the circle to be like a little wider there. Like that inner ring, I think is like the outside of the new transmutation circle that I want to make. I think that's going to be a pretty good size, right? Because even though it's a single target spell, I don't want it to be like exactly at your feet. Like I want something to still be there, right? But the ring itself should be a little bigger. That's what she said. So let's change it here. Let me pull up my new renderer for this. That's not it. I want the actual renderer. Here we go. Right, so Transmutation 1 is focusing on that. So I'm going to start creating some images, and we're going to start mapping things. Talent Bridge, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And as I create the actually, I already have the textures here. Perfect. Intel, hostiles have eyes on your position. Move silent, strike first, leave no traces. Yeah, just like in coding, right? Just like how I should be treating my coding. How you doing? Alright, so I need to go into... Well, these are the shapes. I don't want these. I want this part here. Yeah, so I do have to create custom images. So let's go to my new renders tab, channeling. We will go into area of effect. Show me what this is. Nope, that's not it. It's 2, isn't it? Yep, that's the one I want. Copy. And I'll paste it in the root here. And I'll say magic array 2 dash, we'll do transmutation 1 dash 1. Wait, it's about to be unhappy making the, yep, damn it. I hate when it does that. Transmutation 1. Copy paste. Let's make this magic array 1. You know what? Maybe I will make a new folder and I will call these innate. We'll have a whole subsection for just innate spells. There, we'll get rid of that copy. And then in here, out of curiosity, it was touched on in the chat once, but were you planning a config option to adjust Rustbound creatures' health pool amount? I don't know how to... Well, I guess I could do that. I was going to say the easiest thing would be to just patch what's in the JSON. I would have to make something that runs on initialize if I can. That would look for a config option. See, right now my configs do not extend to being able to change anything that's through JSON, and maximum health and current health when the creature spawns gets pulled right from those JSON attributes. So I would have to try and do something when specific creatures spawn in that would try to override without breaking, you know, the max health and the current health. I think I can do it. Depends on when initialize runs, right? Like if it reads the JSON stuff first and its values that I can actually change, right? Like it has the health behavior, then it's a lot easier. If the health behavior is null when the entity initializes, because it does initialization first and then extends behaviors, I won't be able to patch it in a good way through my configs. Yeah, you could definitely make the JSON patch. Let me show you where. So let's go into entities, creatures, elementals, and we'll just look at the drone. Yeah, so if you search by health, this stuff is only server side. In the past, you used to have to put the health in the behaviors on the client. They fixed it now to where it's like just server side. So this is what you would be patching right here. And it's only the common. I had the idea to get like specialized, like more powerful summons, or creatures that could spawn that's a little harder to kill, but they had a better loot table. But I've yet to put those in, so you can ignore these. It's just they're all common. You would just put a patch in to change these. I wasn't sure if I did it, it would break anything. Rustbound's complexity that makes it really awesome, but a bit touchy for someone to poke at without risk of working your work. Yeah, and honestly, anything you want to do in here, like health and stuff, decay, you could patch any of this. My special stuff, I always run everything to where it doesn't touch JSON objects, right? So anything in this file can be patched. Just make sure you don't patch out a behavior, right? That's the only thing that I think would really break it. Like, don't patch that out and don't patch out the renderer, and I think you'll be okay. Although at this point, I'm not even using this renderer. I had the idea to give my elemental creatures a shader, you know, like an aura or a glow. Especially the sentries, when the sentries cast a spell, I want them to like kind of light up a little bit, you know, and feel like if it's fire, right, I want it to look like flames are kind of coming out, and then it shoots the projectile. That's what this is hooked in for. I just haven't got around to doing that. But yeah, just make a patch for this and this. Because if you don't patch this, and you patch this for like 100, it's gonna have 16 out of 100 points of health. So, and that would be no bueno. Although it would promote people like killing them right when they spawn in, so they don't get stronger over time. Yeah, same thing. Same thing for if you go into. Let's go a little further down. Anything here? I got a lot of stuff commented out, but anything in the AI tasks, if you want these things to hit harder, you could just patch in whatever the numbers you want here. All of these get put right into my custom, my custom AI tasks. Yeah, it's a lot easier for people to make a patch for this stuff. If I put in a patch, it's gonna overwrite it for everyone, right? And at that point, I don't need to put in a patch because I would just change the base number. Funny you picked 100. That's the max health of the drifters, and such are. They're spicy. Nice. But good to know. I appreciate the detailed guidance there. I have a few custom patches for our server on the ModDB, so I'll probably just work on making a patch that cranks the health up to be comparable with the creatures we're currently facing. Nice. I'm glad I could help. What was I working on, guys? Okay, this. Like, what was I doing? Textures, right? Here we go, innate. This is what I was doing. So let's have this be innate slash. And this will be magic array 2. Now, if I want to go a little more in depth, and this is actually what I will do. I can make specific else statements for every variation of, in this case, like transmutation, right? So I can make it to where each shader, like, it makes it look a little more impressive when you are casting the spell. So I'm gonna lay the foundation now. I just won't use that foundation quite yet. Which also means I need to copy these, copy, paste, paste. This would be transmutation 2. Damn it. This would be transmutation 3. The sun's starting to go away out there. This would be transmutation 2. I could do the same thing for Serenity. Actually, I could do this for any spell in the mod right now. I can create like completely custom like rings and effects for each spell. Labor of Love. Right, and this would be transmutation 2. This would be transmutation 3. I'll leave Serenity and Entropy the same. Fuck it. I'll do it for Serenity as well. There we go. I just need to remap these eventually. Okay, so if we save this, I can hop back in the game, and I should just be able to do a world reload to update things. And let's pull up both of these images. We'll start the game, minimize. And here they both are, so they're both the same right now. Oh god, I have to do texture work. Verlia! Are you on? No. I gotta maybe talk to her. She does, like, awesome textures. Like, hey, I got a fun project for you. Delicious. Your armor feels lighter and tougher. You know, some people don't know, like, they think agility's not a good spell. Agility actually makes it to where, like, not only do you get less penalties for run speed for heavy armor, it actually helps negate durability damage when you take hits. That's a part of that spell like no one seems to know about. And I think it's like the strongest part of that. You know, like just equally as important as you know, not having like run speed issues with like plate armor. Because I think it's like immunity to any damage while like agility 2 is on. So your armor takes like no item durability damage. Now you know. I mean, guys, like this is pretty much like is there anything that people think like should be improved? Like my change log, it's not even the whole change log because I did such sweeping changes. Like we're at 145 entries, and most of these are just like, you know, complete rewrites. Like the amount, like this paragraph here, these 2 lines are doing an awful lot of work. But goddamn, it feels good. Feels good. There we go. Oh, and you see, the ring there too. It's it actually shrunk down that bigger image. So depending on how detailed I want this stuff to be, these could shrink down to this size. Look at it. It no longer like drags way behind anymore. So great. Why don't I do some tests on a multiplayer server? Wait, so what are people saying in the issues chat? Not to clog out the issues, clearly not a mod issue, but one block of sky on top side of the gateway fix the issue. I'll just find out, actually. Never mind. Thanks again. Suppose I'll just find out. So, what... Spetsy. Oh, it was just vintage lighting issues. God, that's the game. That's the game. Like, there's a lot of lighting issues in this game. Did you figure out the differences in the essence cost? Did you figure that out? Did you notice that the one side was the Chimerite, the other side was the Ethereum? Daylight in my well-windowed room wasn't counting as sunlight. Oh, I knew the other side was Ethereum. Well, they both have that. That has to do with the discount, Spetsy. So, the runestones here dictate how much essence cost. Yeah, it dictates how much essence cost these take. So, if you want the best reduction, you have to use the Chimerite. If you use Ethereum, it's going to be more expensive. If you use the regular runestones, it's like really stupid expensive. And then it takes that number, and then it looks to see what the day-night cycle is. And then it will then further calculate the percentage increase or decrease based on that initial number that is based on your runestones. Yep, I knew that the Chimerite portal was more expensive than the Ethereum portal. I couldn't figure out why. From what I saw, the Chimerite portal wasn't more expensive, right? The one in there, 1065 as opposed to... Oh, I see what you mean. You know what? Let's test. This is linked to that guy over there. Let's pull out Arcanus blocks. We'll go from, like, the absolute worst. So that's going to be 12 essence. As opposed to 5, but let's use the same. Let's get rid of that. I think this one's full. Oop. We'll just use the neutral for now. Oh, and I gotta pick the destination. Here we go. Right, so it's 4. So this side, it is 4. And I believe this guy is hooked up to this. Yep, it's got an obelisk. And it's 12 here. Which would make sense, right? The Chimerite, right? That should have more of a reduction. But this one's 12, so let's get the Ethereum and let's replace that. Alright, so that's 6. And the other side was 4, right? Yep. So no, it seems to be doing alright. Let's get the light prism. I increased the amount of essence that you can put in here. I increased it to or the transfer rates. It does 100 a tick now instead of 25, so you can fill them a lot faster. Right, so that's 3, and it is daytime. Pull out the resonator. I want to pair you with you. Ah! Or why all these did something. Yeah. Yeah. And that is 5. Man, percentages suck. 3, okay. So during the day, yeah, so the sinus was 3, right? Yeah. So no, it's doing it. It's doing it. So yeah, the issue is Vintage Story Daylight being cursed sometimes. Nothing with the mod as far as I can tell. Alright, cool. I had an idea, possibly a bad one, but what if using bloodstones for the gateway runestones made it cost health to go through for some benefit? That benefit would have to be a pretty substantial one. I don't want to put all the work in to just have it suck to use gateways, right? And then if I did that, I would want to add something for the moonstones. But I'm not sure what that would look like. What are these creatures doing here? Hey, you get away. Back off, buddy. I do like filling my lacrimas faster. That's fair. Moonstones. Yeah, right. Because that's the first thing, right? If I say, like, oh, if you use bloodstones in here, it gives you blah, blah, blah. Well, what if I use moonstones? I don't know. Maybe temporal stability? I don't know. Yeah. But then temporal stability becomes, like, it's not even like a part of the game really if you have X skills, right? Because you could just like increase that temporal stability meter to so like it never drains. The only way I think making indoor portals less cursed due to vintage lighting would be to tie portal costs to time of day instead of sensing daylight. It is tied to time of day, I thought. Let's take a quick look. I may have borked it. It's supposed to be time of day. Alright, trigger teleport. Right, so we're calculating travel costs, so it's in here. Son of a bitch! That it's not supposed to do this. Oh, Spetsy. No wonder why I was confused. I'm like, what do you mean? It's perfectly fine. So then this isn't doing what I want it to do at all. I want it to be like if it's day or night, not if it's light or dark. Why would anyone ever use neutral essence at that point? All right. Yeah, we will change this. And to do that, we will actually look at the Celestium Prism and the Devouring Void. That's not what I want. Celestial Prism. Wait a minute. Is this what people were talking about? I gotta do a quick test. I think this is no bueno. Crap. Time of day sunlight, time of day sunlight. Let's get a couple things here. Grab you and grab you. Where's my hole? Whee! This is not what I wanted. I wanted this to be daytime. I thought it was. Did Vintage Story change how they calculate day and nighttime? That's why people are saying, yeah, you have to have light here. Lame. But see that time set day. This is not what I wanted this to work like. This should be running. This should not be. I put it here. So I like that it needs direct sunlight. Maybe this isn't bad. Maybe this isn't bad. You know what? I actually like how it is right now, and I'm kind of remembering doing it this way intentionally. Because it used to, if you remember, it used to be the Celestium Prism would only work like in the daytime, and then the Devouring Void, even if it was in complete pitch darkness, would only work at night. Right? And then I made... Oh. I feel bad. Oh, you guys get to see the new revive. Oh my, I gotta move those particles over to the new system. Oh, you guys can't see them yet. Sorry, little one. But yeah, so I want it like that. I need to change it just for the gateway. Alright, so that's fine, that's fine. So in here, I can do something like this. Oh, where? Oh, man, where was it? I think it was, yeah, it was this old code here. Right, from 6, between 6 to 8, right? So... this kind of becomes that. Which means, wait, so that's the Devouring Void. Which is that. And then I think, yeah, then it's this for light. And does this make sense? If the hours of day is less than 6 and the hours of day is less than 18, this isn't right. If hours of day is greater than 6 and less than or equal to 18, right, that would be considered light. And then that would have to be reversed, right? So if the hours of day is less than 6 or greater than 18, right? Those are the night hours. Does that seem like it works? Yeah, that's 6 to 6, right? So that's splitting the day in half. Okay, let's try that. And just to make sure, we will put RMR references dot logger. And I'll say, day and then I will say night is dark. This would be is light. It bothers me that the particles did not work. Let me fix that fast with Revive. Researched. I got like 15 minutes. Alteration, Revive. Right, so it would be this spawn temporary particle effects right here. Which is supposed to run Where's my new particle system? Where'd it go? There, okay, I made the subfolder for it. Oh, no, I didn't. Where's the mod system? Okay, here we go. Spellcasting effects. Nope, that's the rendering. Oh, wait, that's the block particle system. What the hell? It's still there. Where did I put it? It's not the shader system, right? It's not this. No. Verbal stats. Interfaces, enums. It's the old. Oh. You know what? Zero references. Did I get rid of it? No. No, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. It's an entity behavior. That's right. The new one's an entity behavior. Here we go. And there it is. Okay, there it is. Found it. Aquamonster, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Talent Bridge, I don't know if I got to you, but thanks for the follow. Glad we could help. Does using hours a day that way affect servers with modified hours or length of time settings? Probably. I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume so. Maybe. I'd have to test. I'm not sure. My gut tells me yes, but no one's complained about it, so I don't know how that level of coding works very well. Yeah, so I'm checking static numbers. That's the problem, right? So if someone, like I assume that the clock, it's a 24-hour clock, right, for a day. So it depends on how Vintage Story, runs that kind of stuff, right? If they add hours to the day and everything ticks the same, then it will affect it. If by their definition of how long a day lasts, like it's 24 hours, but you can have, you can expand it and then the ticks are just slower, but it's still 24 hours in a day, then it wouldn't affect it. So I'm not sure how VS does it. Not quite sure. Armor references .logger. I feel bad. I'm gonna be killing that little guy. I'll do it painlessly. It did not get to here. Start temporary effect. Status effect entity, revive one. Is this running? Okay, let's do a test. Let's get a wolf. Interesting. If player is not alive. Oh. That did it. Sorry, Wolfie. No? Maybe there's more, though, because that should not be in there. It's gonna spam a lot. Yep. Let's say this entity.id, or better yet, this entity.name. Give me the name. Has particle effect. Okay, this is what I want to see, right? Like, every creature, including myself, has this running. Gotta head out for a long drive. Always a pleasure. Hey, drive safe. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna be moseying on out of here a little, kind of soon. Maybe, kind of soon. I was giving myself a little time to go out and clean my grill before we get our thunderstorms. Oh. Great. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, Wolfie. So it brought the target back to life. Let's do, regeneration. See, that works. That works. Revive is not working. Really? I'm just gonna walk into the wall. Hacker. Crikey. Alright, so regeneration worked. Revive is not working. So let me look at regeneration. There it is, regeneration. Apply buff, right? And it's just getting ID with the duration. And this is the selected entity with the ID. With a 5-second duration. Expiration key, active key, long wait, register. I think I'm gonna have to look at this a little more. This was working, and then I think I screwed something up. This is not wearing off either. This should only last... Oh, it's putting an infinite version of the buff on the character, I think, on the wolf. So the wolf has infinite regeneration now. That doesn't make sense. The wolf should not have infinite regeneration. Although, you know what? It would. Game mode 1. There we go. I think it's 12-second. Yep. So that works. Okay. Whew. So regeneration, it can be cast on other things, but it does not heal them yet. That's going to be something else. So this ended up putting infinite regeneration on the wolf. It is nice. Is the character supposed to have the particles the whole time? Or is that a side effect of it being infinite because the constant particles look cool? Yeah, that's a side effect of the infinite. I have light particles here for most of the regular buffs, but with like regeneration on game mode 2, right? Because of my infinite buff system, if you're in creative and you cast a spell from a spell scroll, it gives you the infinite version of that buff. So for like right now, I would be getting increased health, right, up to my maximum until I remove it myself, but it's forever. Yeah. So the wolf gets infinite. I wonder, I could probably make it to where, like, Dispel, if it's not a player, and you cast Dispel on a creature, oh my god, that would be cool. You could take away their effects. Their positive effects. Oh, man, but that means I could have creatures, if I put that in, I could have creatures cast buffs on themselves. And then you could do, like, Spell Steal. I could make a spell called Spell Steal where you could steal the buffs. You know, a buff from the target. I could totally do that. Oh, that'd be awesome. First things first, let's pull up Dispel. I really like that. Oh, man. Yeah, I think this would be pretty easy to do. So I could copy this, right, paste this in, and then I can make one, right, clear random active debuff from player. And then this would be clear one active buff from target. Right, and then for this, it would be entity. I would want to look for buffs specifically, and then pick a random buff, clear the counter, right? And then we would run some resets if it's a player. I do not need these print statements. Right there. Okay. Right, and then this would be debuff from target, or from player. And then this one would be from target. Clear active buff from target. All right, let's give this a try. Let me save. Imagine a creature having like a damage shield, and then you could steal that damage shield from them. Alright, so that would be from player. This would be steal buff, or dispel buff from target. How's it looking outside? Still kind of bright out, but it's not sunny bright. It's like that there's sun somewhere, but there's an awful lot of clouds in one direction, encroaching. Just communicated this during the stream. Vice confirmed this is not an intended interaction. Ah, Vice, son of a bitch. I love it, Spetsy. I'm only human. This mod has a lot of moving parts. In my defense, so it is not doing it for sure. Wait a minute. This spell would have to change to do this. And get rid of one debuff from player. Oh, I got rid of... Did I get rid of all of my buffs? Yeah, it prunes the buffs off of the player. That's not what I want. That's not what I want, right? So let's grab this. Paste that in. And we will grab that. We'll make that an else if, right? So if the selected entity is not a player and they are alive, all right, run this. This would be active buff from target. And then give them the particles, right? Send the player the message, put the particle effect on them. I think that would do the trick. Oh, wait, it's dead. You know what? For now, I will get rid of this print statement. Whoops. Ah! Oh, I'm casting it. Hold on. I think I'm trying too hard here. This would be entity agent. Entity agent. Make sure they have the behavior buff system. Send a message. Select the player. Play sounds at their location. Consume mana. Yeah, there we go. I think that's good. Let's hop back in. Oh man. Let me in. All right. Spell failed. Target is invalid. Why is that? So it's getting to this. Oh, that's not needed anymore. Right, and then what is this? Entity. Oh, I think behavior buff system. So I need creatures, non-players, to also have this buff system as well. Or what I could do is maybe just copy this. We can paste this in here, right? And then I can feed in entity. Anything that says this entity, we can just bring back to entity. There we go. And now for this, we can get rid of this, and this. That and that, right? So it could just go right into that. And then it would be that. Let's shut down. This should be selected entity, not player. Or selected target would be a better term. Alright, and everything else is good. This should be selected target. Okay, this should be the new Dispel. So, if you cast this on a player, it will not strip buffs from them. It will just do debuffs. If you have no target, it defaults to you, stripping only debuffs on. If you use this on anything that is not a player, it should take off any positive effects and leave the negatives. That's what we're going for. Boom, there it is. I just wiped regeneration right off of it. Target is dead, right? So I can't put that on. I can put it on myself. This spell just got a lot cooler. Because I could do a lot more things with this now. Why are the particles not working? It's maddening. Can't wait for the black bear with regeneration to charge me. Well, I can start giving... See, the thing is, I can start giving creatures like wolves and stuff buffs as well with the new buff system. It's not strictly for players anymore. I added a lot of foundational stuff to put it on NPCs. Now, some of the buffs won't really work the same, like swiftness, right? Like, their run speed's calculated completely differently for players than it is for a creature, right? But something like regeneration, right? Barriers, you know, like buffs like barriers and stuff. Those kind of things will work. Alright, so you got that. And then remove it. So I could have it to where, like, if it's a bear, like a magic-touched bear or something, maybe at 20% health, they have a chance of casting regeneration on themselves for a duration. And then, as an incantation mage, you could just destroy that buff, right? Nuke it right off of them. Also makes it to where, in, like fights, like boss fights and stuff, I could have it to where there's like maybe a cocoon period where like it starts to recover. And then you got to try and like out DPS that regen rate, or you could just have an incantation mage like blow the buffs right off of it, maybe even including the immunity. Yeah, joking aside, magic enemies having spells is something I really like. Yeah, that's what I want to do with the pet system. I want to make a warrior-based pet, like a melee-based pet, and a mage-based pet. And the test bed is the sentries, right? Because they actually do technically cast a spell based on their, you know, elemental attunement. So that the projectiles that they shoot are actual spell projectiles, cast the same way a player would. So, since I can do that, I can also put on regeneration, again, you know, like barrier, things like that. So that's why, like, when I rebuilt this, like, it was literally from scratch, keeping in all this stuff in mind. Regeneration's still rolling on me. Alright, guys. This is the new way. This is the new way. I gotta still do stuff in here. This isn't the final way. I think what I need to do is maybe just go through this a little bit. It's an old one. Because I think this can be applied to... Right? So this can be applied to creatures, right? It's just a lot of this code branches it off into player. So, that being said, right, that being the case, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna log out. All right, we're gonna raid someone. I would want to add this behavior, right? So this is on players. And I would want to add this in here. Actually, no. It would be right here. Right, it would look like this. There we go. So client and server would both have to have this on. Which means I could go back into here. And this would be selected target. There we go. I can comment that one out. There we go. So that should work. And this is actually a great way to actually get regeneration healing, because I could just each buff may have to work a little differently being on an NPC than a player. But something like health is straight up, right? Like I can just pretty much copy over, like if you have regeneration, run on this ticker and, you know, update accordingly. You know, every 1 second heal for whatever the spell's, you know, spell power is, right? However potent it is. All right, we're going to do this test, and then we're going to find someone to raid. Who is even playing right now? Whoops. There we go. So it technically has regeneration running on it, even though it's not healing them. There it is. There it is. How great is that? And what I can do here... we could pop a return in here, and I could say if this entity equals null, then go ahead and return. And then I can say if this is not entity player, could run all of this stuff first. right? We can do all of this. Really, it's just particles and the attributes. Yep, and then I would have to have these checks next. Whoops. Just like that. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I would not need these. I may have to change that a bit. Where is regeneration? This is going to be super aggressive for the heal. Won't be able to stay like this. Right, because then I can just say regeneration 1, heal for that, 2, heal for that. Oh, I was gonna say, where'd that wolf go? Look at it go. Regeneration, like, mega healed it. So I'll have to have a secondary timer, right? Because this needs to run in 1 second intervals. Right, and it would be an accumulator. It would have to be a new accumulator. Just like that. Right, but this would have to be, like, I'll say... Target... 1 sec, accum 1. I'm gonna have to initialize it. Or maybe not. There we go. That way it runs every 1 second. There we go. We could fix that. Let's start build. Okay, so I think I just whipped up a quick buff system for other creatures right now. This is great. This is great. All right, who is playing? Man, I said I was gonna raid someone, like everyone left. I don't think the people I raid are that bad. Jeez. I'm going to pick... God, I really don't know. Praxis cast. There we go. We'll raid this person. I just want to test this fast. They're all here to watch you, not other people. People scattered like roaches. when like bed bugs when a light comes on, everyone's just gone. Alright, so I gotta remind myself. We got a couple things to really test. So... Test, gateway, day, night, bool. Right, I gotta test that. Tick, tick, tick. I guess that was a 1 second accumulator. Seemed a little fast. Yeah, that's a little too fast. Oh. Duh. Okay. Still a little too fast. Oh! That's better. There we go. Now it's ticking. That's how much Regeneration 1 should be healing for. And look, I just removed it right before. Your target feels better. I don't think that's it doesn't feel better. Target dispel negative. There we go. Right, it would be that. All right, let's raid. Okay, so I just closed out a helper. Praxis cast. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Look at this test regen buff on non-players. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We are making a lot of changes in this mod. A lot of changes. Spetsy, this is in a good enough state to actually start testing. I can push this out like literally when I get off stream here. I can put it maybe I could send it directly to you, and then I'll paste in what my changelog is so you have it. And then you could let me know. You know, just know that not all the particles are there, and not all the renderers are in. So things that seem like they were very particle intensive may not feel that way. But that's because I went to the new system, right? So works for me. We'll test it out today or tomorrow. Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you, Spetsy. Bye, adios, see you later. Bye.